Basin First Nations Advance Independent Water Trust Model A, proposed enduring water holding model for Basin First Nations, is moving toward a private charitable trust structure supported by a staged, legally binding agreement with the Australian government. The recommendation, developed through multi-phase engagement across 46 Basin First Nations groups, centers on creating an independent trust that would hold water entitlements and financial assets on behalf of basin communities. Unlike statutory models embedded within government, the preferred approach emphasizes independence, cultural governance, and structured accountability mechanisms designed to operate across generations. A shift toward institutional control. The proposed model calls for a Basin First Nations-led charitable trust, a trustee company governed by a representative board, defined charitable purposes embedded in a trust deed, advisory committees reflecting elders, youth, regional, and cultural priorities, formal decision-making frameworks and review rights. Water and funding would be transferred into the trust at inception, not at the conclusion of the government agreement. That structure is significant. It moves control upstream before the government support phase tapers, reducing exposure to political shifts. The proposal explicitly rejects models that remain embedded within central government, citing concerns about policy volatility and long-term sovereignty. Financial architecture, designed for endurance. Financial sustainability was a recurring theme in the engagement process. The proposed model incorporates multiple revenue and support mechanisms, leasing portions of water entitlements to generate revenue, establishing an investment fund, accessing philanthropic contributions, securing tax concessions through special legal recognition, entering into a staged, legally binding funding agreement with government. The staged agreement would operate as scaffolding, with government operational support gradually tapering as the trust builds internal capacity. Crucially, the agreement is structured to prevent abrupt funding withdrawal, a risk frequently cited in engagement discussions. Two-way governance and accountability. The model emphasizes first and final say governance principles, embedding Basin First Nations decision-making at both formation and operational phases. Accountability mechanisms include advisory committees, mandatory reviews, culturally led dispute resolution, legal trustee obligations, defined decision-making guardrails, potential public oversight triggers. The intent is to avoid overregulation while still preserving enforceability. The model attempts to reconcile independence with long-term funding certainty, a balance often difficult to achieve in public-private governance structures. Implementation timeline. The proposed pathway spans 2026 to 2028. 2026 to 2027, design and drafting of governing documents. 2027, trustee establishment and execution of government agreement. Mid-2028, transfer of water entitlements. The timeline reflects the complexity of cross-nation engagement and legislative coordination. Why this matters beyond water. Although rooted in water governance, the proposal reflects broader trends in institutional asset holding, decoupling from political cycles, embedding multi-layered accountability, structuring phased government withdrawal, aligning capital assets with community-defined purpose. As public infrastructure models evolve, the tension between independence and funding security continues to surface across sectors, from energy to land management to environmental restoration. The Basin First Nations model represents one attempt to formalize that balance. You've been listening to Sustainability Soundbites by Environment and Energy Leader. For partnership opportunities, please reach out to our team.